say the truth. So let's get into it. So recently, I made a video earlier last week, you should check it out, how Ron DeSantis in Florida is passing an anti-Semitism religious bill. It's a religion bill that makes religious discrimination illegal if it passes in schools. But the religious bill only deals with Jewish people in Israel, and it conflates Judaism with the state of Israel. So it's so broad. They say anti-Semitism is criticizing that, anti-Semitism this, anti-Semitism is that. It's a religious bill that only deals with one religion, so obviously it's biased right from the jump, and even in that religion it lies. It's Republicans passing that and Ron DeSantis. Ben Shapiro and Dennis Prager don't talk about that because they agree with, they don't have a problem with it. They're the same type of people. They say anything is anti-Semitic. Criticism of Israel is anti-Semitic. Suggesting that people in America have dual loyalties is anti-Semitic. Here's Ben's tweet today. This is why I'm challenging him to a debate. And the people would win. I wouldn't win, he wouldn't win, the people would win. Because when two people come together, the truth will prevail, whether he says it or I says it. But I guarantee you, if he comes like this, he's not going to be the truth teller. He said, American Jews, whether ethnic or religious, are loyal to America, not Israel. Any dual loyalty supposition is anti-Semitism. So first he says, American Jews, whether ethnic or religious, are loyal to America. First of all, that's not even true. It's like me saying every Italian in this country is loyal to America. Every single one. That's not true. There's people of my ethnicity that probably aren't loyal to America. They probably don't care about it. You know, most Jewish people vote Democrat, so they don't agree with Ben on a lot of stuff. You know, a lot of them don't even care about Israel. That's fine. Everyone's allowed to have their own perspective. Jews are not a monolith. They're allowed to, think different ways politically. But he's right out the bat says, doesn't matter who you are, you're loyal to America. You don't know that, Ben. And the biggest lie, he says, is not Israel. Any dual loyalty supposition is anti-Semitism. So suggesting that any Jewish person in America has dual loyalty is anti-Semitic. Even though him and Prager, if you're a fan of Ben or you're a fan of Prager, I hope you are, if you watch their videos, you'll notice one thing. They love Israel, which is totally fine. They're Jewish and they love Israel. There's nothing wrong with it. There's non-Jews who love Israel. There's Christians who are obsessed with Israel. There's nothing wrong with having loyalty to Israel for religious reasons, for personal reasons, for moral reasons, for political reasons, for financial reasons, whatever. That's fine, but you can't say it's hate speech for me to point out that you have dual loyalty. I don't think anybody in their right mind wouldn't think that Dennis Prager doesn't like Israel. Every one of 5 videos is about Israel. Every 2 seconds, he's like, Israel, Israel, Israel. He can't sit in front of Congress without mentioning the fact that he's Jewish and Israel 15 times. That's fine. I'm not going to hate him for it. Of course, you should support your people. But listen to what he says here. This is a PragerU video. People wanted me to have proof. Listen, this is not him, but it's someone on his platform.
How is one to explain singling out Israel for condemnation? Sadly, only one explanation fits: anti-Semitism.
So on PragerU, they say, how can one explain singling out Israel for criticism? How could one do that? There's only one, this is on PragerU, his educational platform. There's only one explanation for ever singling out Israel for criticism. And the only explanation to Dennis Prager and Ben Shapiro is anti-Semitism. So if you single out Israel for criticism, you must hate all Jews in the world. That's what PragerU's pushing to his people. What about the fact that, say I'm a libertarian and I don't want to give financial aid. I don't want to give financial aid to Venezuela. I don't want to give financial aid to Canada. I don't want to give financial aid to the Middle East and Afghanistan. I don't want to give financial aid to Israel. But according to PragerU, I can't think that, I don't want to give out financial aid. We give the most foreign aid to Israel. Trump tweeted today, he said Germany is taking out loans and we're paying Germany for loans. Trump said that. Imagine if I said that about Israel. We're just giving them free money. Everyone would say, you're an anti-Semite. Ben Shapiro would say, you're an anti-Semite. Prager admits he thinks the only reason that you could possibly criticize Israel and single them out, how about the fact that they're the #1 recipient of our taxpayer dollars foreign aid? In America, I'm allowed to have that perspective. You're allowed to disagree, but these PragerU and Ben Shapiro and Ted Cruz, Ron DeSantis types are not only having that perspective, but they're passing legislation as we speak to then make it illegal for you to tell the truth. So he says, if you disagree with Israel and you single them out, it could be for the wars, it could be the fact that they have a foreign lobbyist organization that's censoring our algorithms. The ADL, Anti-Defamation League, you can go to their Wikipedia, The ADL is a non-governmental Jewish organization founded by B'nai B'rith, which is the oldest Jewish international organization in the world. So that's who the ADL is. There's nothing anti-Semitic about saying it. They're not a Muslim organization. They're not a Christian organization. They pride themselves on being a Jewish organization. That is, their number one goal, they say in their videos, I'll make a whole video about it later, is to protect Jewish people and Israel. That's what the ADL does. It's not my opinion. It's not anti-Semitic. It's a fact that that's who they are and what they do. They also brag about rigging Google's algorithm and YouTube's algorithm. So if you wonder why you search on YouTube and you can't find anything that you want to find, you can thank the ADL, the Anti-Defamation League, which is a Jewish non-governmental organization that serves as a lobbyist smear team for the state of Israel. So if I was to say, hey, I love Jews, I have no problem with Israel, but I'm a little bit critical of them more than other countries because they're the only ones that I see that have that much influence in Silicon Valley and are rigging algorithms, they would then say, let's listen to what PragerU thinks of me saying that.
How is one to explain singling out Israel for condemnation?
How can we explain
Sadly,
that?
only one explanation fits. Anti-Semitism.
Anti-Semitism. So the fact that PragerU makes, 10,000 videos about Israel and Ben Shapiro obviously likes Israel. Here, I'm going to read a Ben Shapiro article that he wrote when he was younger. Yes, he was younger, but I mean, he could say if he feels differently or not. So Town Hall, it says, enemy civilian casualties, okay by me. I'm getting really sick of people who whine about civilian casualties. Maybe I'm a hard-hearted guy, but when I see newspapers that civilians in Afghanistan or the West Bank were killed by American or Israeli troops, I don't really care. In fact, I would rather that the good guys use the Air Force to kill the bad guys, even if that means some civilians get killed along the way. So he's telling you, I have loyalty to American and Israeli troops. He says if they kill civilians of other countries, I don't care. The good guys are American and Israel. But he also says today, American Jews, whether ethnic or religious, are loyal to America, not Israel. Any dual loyalty supposition is anti-Semitism. So he's trying to say it's anti-Semitic, it's hate speech, to suggest he has dual loyalty when he knows he has dual loyalty. Everyone knows he has dual loyalty. All you need is 2 eyes and an ear to hear PragerU to know that they have dual loyalty. But he wants to say it's hate speech for me to point that out. And they're passing legislation. This is the biggest part. They're passing legislation that says you can't criticize Soros, you can't criticize the Rothschilds, you can't say that there's some conspiracy, you can't point out statistics in media or banking, you can't suggest that I'm loyal to another country. This is all a bill being passed in Florida, and there's bills all around the country that you've probably never heard of because they slip under the radar, that no one talks about them, and Shapiro never talk about them because he probably supports them, or else does he care about free speech? I don't know. Is it even legal for me to question that now? You could question my loyalty. You could question my loyalty to the country. You can question my loyalty to the president. It's not illegal. It should never be. I could not like you. I could block you from my page if you're annoying me, but it shouldn't be a law that you can't question my allegiance to America. That's not what our country is about. But Ben Shapiro has no problem with Ron DeSantis pushing these bills because he thinks he's fighting anti-Semitism. What he's really doing is deceiving Christians, Jews, Muslims, American citizens of all kinds, and selling out our First Amendment. Here's another tweet from my buddy Andrew Clavin, who had me on the show. Great guy. I love Andrew. I just have to point this out. He said, or Iran is blown off the face of the earth in about 15 minutes and the world is better for it. So I just met with someone from Iran earlier this week, a friend of mine, who I said, would I like Iran? She said, yeah, you'd love it. The people are really nice there. Of course, it's not all evil government regime. There's citizens in Iran. And Andrew Clavin says, let's blow 80 million people off the face of the planet. So let's murder 80 million innocent people. But his organization wants to tell me I'm anti-Semitic for pointing out the fact that they have loyalty to one country and not loyalty to another. So if you think that's not crazy enough, let's listen to Nancy Pelosi. This is all you need to know. The law, just watch my old bill. It's a Ron DeSantis anti-Semitism school bill. And there's nothing anti-Semitic about opposing it because the biggest opposers of it were Jews themselves. I mean, it's ridiculous. Even what Trump said, as much as I've supported him in the past, most Jews vote Democrat. Jews are not a monolith. They don't have to like Israel. They could love Israel. They could live in Israel. They could hate Israel. They could hate Canada. They could love Canada. In America, you can't dictate what Jews feel and don't feel. Don't treat them like they try to treat, blacks and Hispanics and say, oh, if you don't vote Democrat, you're unloyal. That's not the way to speak to people. I don't think Jewish people deserve to be treated like a monolith, especially when the conservative Jews want to say everybody's anti-Semitic, but most Jews in America don't even agree with them. So listen, if you really want to know who's, they say you can't say that Israel and America have dual loyalty. Look at this picture. It's Nancy Pelosi at AIPAC. I don't know if you can see it. You probably can't, but there's a Jewish flag and an American flag, and it says connected for good. So they're telling you we're connected for good. Like, that's basically what dual loyalty is here. Let's see if we can.
From Israel's founding through the present day, our pledge remains the same.
Mm-hmm.
Israel and America are connected now and forever.
We're connected.
We will never allow anyone to make Israel a wedge issue.
We're connected forever. Okay. She's telling you this, not me. She's telling you we're connected forever. Connected for good.
That pledge is proudly honored in this Congress, where support for Israel remains ironclad and bipartisan.
They got both sides, guys. Chuck Schumer, Pelosi,
The
Trump.
U.S.-Israel relationship is special and strong because it is rooted in our shared values and our shared interest, including our interest in stability and in enduring peace in the region and the world. Assistance to Israel is vital, and it's not going anywhere, because if you care about American security, you must care about Israel's security.
You must care. You can't possibly have another perspective.
In our democratic societies, we should welcome legitimate debate on how best to honor our values and to advance our priorities without questioning loyalty or patriotism.
Just wait, guys. I'll get to my point in a second. Ready? Just wait. This is the point I'm getting to. Right here. Ready? Once they stop clapping.
This month, the full House came together to condemn the anti-Semitic myth of dual loyalty and all forms of bigotry with a resolution that, quote, rejects the perpetuation of anti-Semitic stereotypes in the United States and around the world, including the pernicious myth of dual loyalty and foreign allegiance, especially in the context of support for the United States-Israel alliance.
Do you get it now, guys? She just said, I don't care if you support Israel. I don't care if you're Israeli. God bless you guys. I appreciate you. She said, we're connected for good. We're never going to be non-connected. We're exactly the same. If you don't agree, there's a problem. And then she says in the next breath, she says, but we're going to get rid of the pernicious myth that there's dual loyalty. The whole first half is saying, we're connected. We have dual loyalty. If you don't have dual loyalty, you don't care about America. But don't you dare say that there's dual loyalty. We're going to make sure that it's illegal, and we're gonna crack down on these crazy haters who suggest do you not get it, guys? Do you not get the whole plot? Her, Ben Shapiro, Trump, Prager, it doesn't matter if you're Jewish or non-Jewish. There's a whole agenda to connect our countries, and they have dual loyalty. You could say that that's great, you love Israel, but you can't make it illegal for me to say that. Why do you think Ben Shapiro calls everything anti-Semitic? Why do you think they're passing speech laws? To stop you from saying the truth. They don't want you to say what they themselves say. Watch it again and figure out why this is screwed up, guys. She literally says we have dual loyalty, and then she says it's a crazy Jewish conspiracy. Like, oh, how dare someone say that the Rothschilds might have influence? Like, it's not a fact. Let's make it illegal in Florida schools. Ben Shapiro will make it illegal. PragerU will make it illegal. Trump will make it illegal. Nancy Pelosi will make it illegal. But don't you dare say that Israel has influence over our Congress. That's an anti-Semitic myth. They're telling you to your face that they have dual loyalty, and then they want to make it illegal for you to say it.
That pledge is proudly honored in this Congress, where support for Israel remains ironclad and bipartisan. The U.S.-Israel relationship is special and strong because it is rooted in our shared values and our shared interest, including our interest in stability and in enduring peace in the region and the world. Assistance to Israel is vital, and it's not going anywhere, because if you care about American security, you must care about Israel's security.
So she spends a minute telling you, we have dual loyalty, we're connected. If you disagree, now listen, guys, this is a free speech problem.
Legitimate debate on how best to honor our values and to advance our priorities without questioning loyalty or patriotism.
Don't question it though. They just told you they're loyal, but you can't say it. They're making it illegal for you to say it. They're telling you every day, but you can't say it. This is the agenda, folks.
This month, the full House came together to condemn the anti-Semitic myth of dual loyalty.
It's a myth.
And all forms of bigotry with a resolution that, quote, rejects the perpetuation of anti-Semitic stereotypes in the United States and around the world, including the pernicious myth of dual loyalty and foreign allegiance, especially in the context of support for the United States-Israel alliance.
Guys, I don't know a nicer way to say that you're brainwashed if you don't understand that, if you think I'm off. She's telling you, I have loyalty, we're connected for good, we are loyal, and then in the next breath, she's telling you she's working with groups to tell you that you can't say that they have dual loyalty. It's a myth that the United States and Israel have loyalty to each other. It's a myth that people in America have dual loyalty. It's not a myth, it's a fact. And I'm sorry, I don't care if you're Ben Shapiro or Prager, if you think a fact should be illegal and a fact should be hate speech, which is what they're doing, you're in for a rude awakening, folks. Let me find this other one. There's Nancy Pelosi. Let me see. Capitol crumbles. I don't know where it is. There's another one where she says, if the Capitol crumbles tomorrow, if our country gets torn to shreds, we'll still be giving financial aid to Israel. So we give the most aid to Israel. I'm not, for the sake of this debate, I could do a whole nother debate on how great of an ally that they are, and that's a conversation that should be allowed to be had between people who think they are and aren't. I'm not even doing that now. I don't even want to get to that layer. What I'm trying to say is, Ben Shapiro obviously has dual loyalty. He talks about it constantly. PragerU has dual loyalty. He talks about it constantly and even suggests that you're anti-Semitic if you aren't as loyal as him. Nancy Pelosi obviously has dual loyalty, and I don't even think she's Jewish. There's nothing anti-Semitic about it. She's telling you she has dual loyalty. She's telling you our Congress, they've been flying our Congress out, 1/3 of our Congress since the 80s, guys. They've had control of our Congress for a long, long time. You could say it's great. You could say it's biblical, although I would argue that with the Bible. But anyway, you could have that opinion for now. Overall, the point is they're trying to make it illegal for you to say that. If they're admitting it, why can't you? And I'm telling you, this is the push. They want total control, total power, total to connected for good. But then if you question, why can't you make a cartoon about Soros or Rothschilds? Because it's true. And the truth is now hate speech on the left and right. So you can't make a Rothschilds or a Soros cartoon because you hit too close to home, so they're going to make it illegal. You can't say what Shapiro and Prager want you to not say because you're too close to home, so they'll shut you up. No, you got to hate Ilhan Omar. Come on, Christians. We're Judeo-Christians. Hate Ilhan Omar. We're free speech. Unless you hit too close to home, then I'm going to call you anti-Semitic. I mean, the fact that Prager said this should be a red flag to you guys, even if you love Israel. I mean, come on.
How is one to explain singling out Israel for condemnation? Sadly, only one explanation. Fits. Anti-Semitism.
So you're an anti-Semite. Maybe you want the wars to stop. Maybe you think, why did our towers fall and then we went to Libya, Syria? I mean, the Middle Eastern wars, I'm not saying they aren't for Israel. That can be speculated. But say we're fighting these wars for another country, and it's decimated Europe, it's decimated Canada, it's decimated America, it's decimated our finances, it's decimated our army, it's sent millions of American citizens into psych wards because they had to fight for our country. If you question that, you're anti-Semitic. If you're wondering why we give them the most aid, that's anti-Semitic. There's no other explanation for it. There's no way that you could possibly love and support Jews, but you just don't know. When Trump criticizes Germany, that's not anti-German. When Trump criticizes Canada or Mexico, that's not anti-Canadian. But right-wing people such as Shapiro and Prager, say that you're not allowed to say it, or it's anti-Semitism. And you have to understand the reason I want to debate them. It's not just their opinion. They are passing laws with Ted Cruz, Ron DeSantis, all over the United States. You could do further research into it. They pass laws that you can't criticize. Oh, well, bad things happen to us, so we're going to make it impossible for you to question us and criticize us. But we're equal, but we don't want to be equal. If you say that we're equal, we're going to call you anti-Semitic. You can do cartoons. Yeah, draw a Muhammad cartoon, guys. Haha, Ilhan Omar, we're so conservative, guys. Draw a Muhammad cartoon. Try drawing a Soros and a Rothschilds cartoon. Try drawing a Netanyahu cartoon. See what happens. They'll call you anti-Semitic on Fox News. They'll shut you down. They're not pro-free speech. And their loyalty is obvious. Of course, I think they're loyal to America, but I think they're loyal to another country, and it's obvious. Someone said I've never heard them say that because they're very, very sneaky, for lack of a better term. I know people will try to say that's anti-Semitic, but that, to me, that's anti-Semitism to assume that only certain people can be sneaky. It's like there's sneaky Christians, there's sneaky Muslims. Ben Shapiro and Prager are very sneaky. They say, here's the Constitution, the Constitution, the Constitution, and then the fifth video is Israel, 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 Israel. If you disagree, you're anti-Semitic. If you disagree, here, Constitution. If you care about the Constitution, the biggest part of it is the First Amendment, which you guys are constantly undermining because you're incredibly loyal to your own people in Israel, which would be fine, but you're not going to make it illegal for me to say it. And I'll tell you what, guys, the reason you're not allowed to say it, the reason that you're not allowed to say dual loyalty while I'm still allowed to say it, the reason that the right wing doesn't want you to say it, the reason that the left wing doesn't want you to say it, the reason that Nancy Pelosi condemns it, the reason that Trump condemns it, the reason that Shapiro condemns it, and the reason that Prager condemns it, and the reason that Chuck Schumer condemns it, the reason that it's the only thing that they agree on is because it's true. And they're, the closer you hit to home, the more they want to shut it down. So someone said, I think you're looking to use them to advance your career. Trust me, I am doing excellently. I don't need Prager or Ben Shapiro to advance my career. If you don't understand why I'm doing this, that's your loss. I understand. Trust me. I know the history of when they put out certain Bibles, when they convince Christians to feel a certain way. I know the whole history, but if you don't understand how important the First Amendment is, you think I don't understand what part you're missing. They're writing anti-First Amendment speech laws. When the left wing does all this stuff, I say, look, it's the left. And Ben Shapiro will say, look, it's the left, look, it's the left. But when it's his own people, he won't say anything because he doesn't actually care about free speech, guys. You wonder why, you really care why Google's getting rigged? You really care why YouTube's getting rigged? Do you ever wonder why social media platforms are all over the place? The Anti-Defamation League is a Jewish non-governmental organization that is meddling in our country on behalf of the state of Israel, screwing up our information, guys. I don't like when Qatar does it. I don't like when Canada does it, but you have the nerve to say, I want to advance my career? You think I care? I've never cared. I mean, I'm doing fine. I don't need to call them out. I'm more kind, more thoughtful, and I call less people out than anybody. And I sit here and tell you that your First Amendment rights are being undermined. I have a whole video explaining how they've already passed laws saying it's illegal to criticize the conspiracy of banking, the conspiracy of media, criticism of Israel. And Ben Shapiro and Prager tell you every day that they think it's hate speech to say that, and it's not just their opinion. It's a law now, and I guarantee you it's a law in more places than Florida, and I guarantee you all Republican politicians are in on it, guys, and so are a lot of left-wing politicians, and that's fine. I don't care. I could say that our government is sold out to Saudi Arabia. No one would bat an eye. Why are we selling them $250 billion worth of weapons when all the 9/11 hijackers came from Saudi Arabia? It's because they have money. Why are we friends with, why are we so tight with Israel? Not only because of money, but also because it's a religious prophecy. You have Christians who have been, made to believe that this state of Israel is going to bring the return of the Messiah. It's a whole Zionist movement. They think they're bringing back Jesus Christ. That's why Trump says, I'm king. I'm the king of Israel. They are treating him like the king because they're trying to fulfill a prophecy. But I would say to Christians, you should take a deep dive into the history of Christianity and also when that became popular, because that was not a popular belief until the late 1800s and the early 1900s. And if you really care to do your research, you could trace exactly what Bible put out those footnotes and kind of, in my opinion, deceive people into thinking that their number one cause is to ignore their own country, ignore their own, ignore their own scriptures, ignore the word of Jesus Christ himself, ignore reality, ignore logic, ignore the First Amendment, ignore the Second Amendment, ignore the fact that Charlie Kirk is more passionate about making Palestine gay than he is even getting clean water and food and medicine to the people. I don't know that's not really a Christian thing in my opinion. People are like, well, Anomaly, you want to advance your career because you care about the First Amendment and the Second Amendment and truth and reality and the fact that our politicians are sold out and you don't want to lose your right to say that. I don't care about my career, guys. If I cared about my career, I'd be on my knees like every other conservative who knows the truth and say, please, Charlie Kirk, please, book me, please. I want to be a famous TPUSA speaker. I get it, They don't want, please, Ben Shapiro, please put me on I promise I'll be like Michael Knowles. I promise I won't criticize Israel at all. I promise I'll be the next big star. If I cared about fame in my career, I would do that like everyone else. You think other conservatives don't know what I'm saying? Most of them do. They just lie to themselves because they don't want to not get booked and not be a cool kid. I don't really care. Listen to what I'm saying. I don't care what you think about me, or I hope you love Prager and Ben Shapiro. But if you don't understand that they're using the false guise of anti-Semitism to then have Republican politicians, whether they know or don't know, pass legislation to make it illegal. I just played you a video of Nancy Pelosi for 1 minute bragging about how loyal the U.S. is to America. Have you ever seen America do that to any other country? Canada, there's no such thing as that, guys. And there's nothing wrong with saying it. If you're in Israel, God bless you. God bless your soul. If you're an American Jew who supports Israel more than me, I get it. I'm not even mad at that. My point is, when they tell you that, and then they say, oh, don't say it's all about the Benjamins. How dare you say that we have loyalty to Israel? We do. We're more loyal to Israel than any other country in the world. There's no such thing as an AIPAC for Canada where thousands of people go there. Nancy Pelosi says, if our capital crumbles tomorrow, we will still be giving taxpayer money to Israel. They get the most taxes, but we'll still give them taxes even if our capital crumbles. They are obsessively loyal to Israel, which is fine if you want to do that. Don't stop me from saying it. I could say you have loyalty to Mexico or Canada, and especially when the number one country we're connected with, they're not even hiding it, guys. They tell you themselves, we are connected. It says connected for good. I mean, how is this anti-Semitic to point out what they're...
I simply declare to be anti-Semitic is to be anti-American. It has no place in our country.
Okay. So if I point this out, Ben Shapiro Prager says
Israel's founding through the present day, our pledge remains the same. Israel and America are connected now and forever. We will never allow anyone to make Israel a wedge issue.
She can't even talk. Wedge. So she's saying we're connected now and forever. That's dual loyalty, Nancy. That's dual loyalty, Ben Shapiro. That's dual loyalty, Prager. I don't understand what part people don't get. Who's stopping you from saying that? Do you want me to go through it? I already have a whole video on it. Go back. Ron DeSantis passed a bill to make it illegal, and when Ilhan Omar said it's all about the Benjamins, why do you think Nancy Pelosi and Donald Trump work together? You think because they're fighting anti-Semitism? All the Republicans are drooling, like, yeah, we're getting Ilhan. No, they're shutting her up because she's actually right about that. She's wrong about most things. I do think she hates Israel. I do think she hates America. I'm not debating that. But the reason that they came together was not to protect you from anti-Semites. It's because she told the truth, and they needed to shut her up quickly for saying, quick, get her to stop. Ron DeSantis, anti-Semitism bill. Let's dive into it. So Ron DeSantis signed this bill. I did a whole video on it, but I'll go back through it since you weren't there. He signed a bill on Israeli soil. This is the first bill ever signed on foreign soil, because most time American politicians, sign it in their country or in their state, but since we're connected for good, Ron DeSantis has no problem going to Israel and signing this bill. This legislation considers it anti-Semitism to make mendacious, dehumanizing, or demonizing stereotypical allegations about Jews as a power collective, and such that the Jewish world conspiracies are Jews controlling the media, economy, government, or other societal institutions. So you have American politicians. It's not all Jews. It's not every single Jewish person, obviously, but you have American politicians on both sides of the aisle telling you we are connected with this country for good. But if you talk about the myth, you notice that they all use the same thing. The right wing uses, they say it's a crazy myth to suggest we have dual loyalty. And this bill signs it into law to say it's a myth about Jewish world. Jews don't control the media, economy, government, or societal institutions. We're going to make it illegal for you to say that. Why is it illegal? It's not all Jewish people. Every Jewish person's not responsible, but honest Jewish people know that if you look at who owns the parent company that owns CNN, who owns the parent company that owns MSNBC, who's the CEO of CNN, most of the media is run by Jewish people. That's not a conspiracy theory. That's not anti-Semitic. That's a fact. So now, banking, people don't know that why do you think that they shut down a Rothschilds cartoon? If you do a cartoon of Rothschilds, why do you think they didn't invite Ben Garrison, a right-winger, to the White House? Because he's not lying. And if you don't lie, the right wing will shut you down. They'll say, whoa, you could tell the truth about Ilhan Omar because it's just a little proxy war. We'll get Christians to fight Muslims. We'll get you guys arguing. We'll make you think Ilhan Omar is the whole world. But if you get too close to home, we'll shut you down. The bill also defines anti-Semitism as accusing Jewish citizens of being loyal to Israel or the alleged priorities of Jews worldwide than the interests of their own nation. So in America, you're free to speculate. You're free to say that Ilhan Omar is loyal to Palestine and Muslims. That's fine. But it's a religious bill passed by Ron DeSantis to stop people from only protecting one religion in school, so much so that they don't even know what they're saying. I mean, it even makes it illegal to criticize Israel more than other countries. So this is a bill. This is not an opinion. This is not me wanting fame or attention. This is an anti-First Amendment bill being passed by a Republican telling you that the government should be allowed to say who you're allowed to criticize, when it's enough, when it's not. And what are the conservatives that claim that they're standing up for the Constitution? What do they say? What do the Prager youth say?
How is one to explain singling out Israel for condemnation?
How could you explain that?
Sadly, only one explanation fits: anti-Semitism.
It's the only explanation. So if you criticize Israel for the ADL, for foreign aid, for wars, for one of millions of reasons that you're allowed to criticize any country. You can criticize Trump, you can criticize Hillary, you can criticize the Democrats, you can criticize the Republicans, you can criticize Americans, you can criticize Christians, you can criticize Sikhs, you can criticize anybody. But if you get too close to one religion, it's anti-Semitism according to PragerU. And as he's saying that, Ron DeSantis is passing these fake lies into legislation, saying, if you say we're going to pass a religious bill for religion, for every religion, for Christians, no. We're passing a religious protection bill for only one religion. So right off the bat, it's obvious that it's not a good idea. But that's what happens when you have most of your mainstream conservatives lying to their own people. I don't really know what to tell you. It's not a Jewish thing. There's just as many Christians lying. There's just as many, Catholics lying to the Republican people. And they have you so obsessed with a foreign country and people like Ben Shapiro that they're allowed to pass anti-free speech legislation while no one knows. People are like, I've never heard that. Well, of course, because they're not going to tell you, because as they're passing that, not only are they not explaining that, but you have people like Shapiro and Prager and even others saying it's anti-Semitic to say that. They're playing along with it. It's like if the left wing's passing hate speech laws and they're saying, oh, yeah, that is hate speech, that's hate speech, that's hate speech. Yeah, pass it. They had Ted Cruz on. They said, you gotta pass this condemnation thing. Shapiro had Cruz on, and Cruz was like, trust me, we're gonna shut Ilhan Omar up as soon as possible. We're gonna shut her up. We're not gonna allow her to say that Israel has influence over America. I don't like Ilhan Omar. I don't think she has America's best interests at heart. I don't think she has Israel's best interests at heart. I don't think she likes America. I don't think she likes Israel. I don't think she likes Jews. I don't think she likes white people. That's my opinion. I agree with people on that. However, the real reason that it was a bipartisan effort to shut her down was because what she said was true. It is all about the Benjamins. That's how the world works. And there's nothing wrong with, they said, all the Republicans came together. How come you're saying that there's Israeli lobbies that control American politicians? How could she say that? Go to all your favorite Republicans' Twitters. They said, how could Ilhan Omar suggest that Israel has, this is a Israeli conference. It says, you can't see, it says connected for good. It's not a conspiracy theory to say that Israel controls a lot of politicians, whether you could say it's a moral reason, political reason. If you can't accept this, feel free to, I don't really care. Feel free to lie to yourself. Ben Shapiro will sell you DNA kits and death insurance, and then he'll tell you that it's illegal to point out the facts. The truth should never be illegal. The truth should never be hate speech. And I could care less if it's my best friend or favorite political analyst who wants to lie about it. And the point I'm saying is, someone said it might be time for a bodyguard, young man. Surely, now you're blocked. I mean, you can get a bodyguard. Now you're banned forever. But overall, the point I'm trying to get to is either you care about the First Amendment in this country or not, and the truth should never be hate speech. When the left wing says, you can't say that because it's hate speech, you can't do border security, it's hate speech, you can't say that because it's hate speech, you can't support your country because it's hate speech if you defend yourself, it's hate speech. I say it's not hate speech. It should never be a law. It should never be on social media. It should never be a Twitter or a Google or a YouTube thing to suggest that that's hate speech. It's not hate speech. Conservatives and Republicans are doing the same exact thing with anti-Semitism. They're using Jews. They're using Israel. They're lying. And then they're passing anti-free speech legislation to say that you can't say the truth. If the left wing says it's illegal for me to say the truth, I'm going to say it. If the right wing says it's illegal for me to say the truth, I'm going to say it. As an American citizen, you can support Israel. You can question them. You can criticize them. You're allowed to say that people who obviously have dual loyalty and brag about having dual loyalty and telling you that our country has dual loyalty, they're not allowed to make it illegal or tell you that it's hate speech to point out what they themselves have pointed out a million times. And if you don't understand, honestly, you can unfollow. If you don't get what I'm saying, you might as well unfollow because your brain is blocked. Do you not get what I'm saying? I'm going to say it one more time and make it very clear. And if this doesn't sit well with you, feel free to never accept the truth. The left wing makes it illegal or calls it hate speech and rigs algorithms to say the truth. The truth is hate speech to the left wing. The right wing doesn't want you to say the truth. It's not a conspiracy theory. It's a fact that Israel has influence over politicians. That's not a conspiracy theory. It's not anti-Semitic. That's a fact. Ben Shapiro, PragerU say that a fact that they admit themselves is hate speech. If you don't understand that, you're lying to yourself. That's fine. Republicans, as they're telling you it's hate speech to say the truth, they're passing legislation that's so broad and so bland, that is so biased towards one religion and biased against all other religions. They're passing anti-free speech legislation. Someone said, how do you know what the truth is? When it comes to this, is it real? I mean, man, they really got the right wing brainwash here. Is America combined with Israel? They're trying to say that's hate speech and illegal to say that Israel has a lobby over the United States. So you tell me what the truth is. I don't even have to say anything. You tell me. Is that true, that Israel lobby has influence?
Founding through the present day, our pledge remains the same. Israel and America are connected now and forever. We will never allow anyone to make Israel a wedge issue. That pledge is proudly honored in this Congress, where support for Israel remains ironclad and bipartisan. The U.S.-Israel relationship is special and strong because it is rooted in our shared values.
How do I know it's true? Because left-wingers say it. Nancy Pelosi just told you. Donald Trump says it. Ben Shapiro says it. Prager says it. Ted Cruz says it. Ron DeSantis says it. Dan Crenshaw says it. Every single Republican and Democrat alike, besides the squad and that new, intrusion, they all tell you, we are aligned, we are connected, we are loyal, we have loyalty. And then on the same token, they want to make it illegal for you to say that. What do you mean, how do I know? Do you not notice? Watch a PragerU video. Listen to Ben Shapiro for a week. Listen to Nancy Pelosi speak. Listen to Donald Trump speak. Listen to Dan Crenshaw speak. They don't lie about it. But then they try to tell you that it's hate speech to point out what they themselves point out. How do I know? Because they say it all the time. I mean, how do you not know? I don't understand. What's the big... You can support Israel. I'm not telling you not to support them. You could support them. But if you don't realize what's happening, your brain is blocked. I don't know what to tell you. How do you know that they have dual loyalty and influence over Congress? Because they have a meeting every year where left-wingers and right-wingers, Mitch McConnell goes, Trump goes, Pelosi goes, Chuck Schumer goes, everybody goes and says their support for Israel. How do you not know? And then these same people go on Twitter and say, how dare somebody say that the Israel lobby has influence over American politics? What a anti-Semite that they must be. Everybody, did you not hear? I don't, am I talking to myself? I don't understand. Did you not hear the PragerU video? Do we have to play it again? So as she's saying, we have loyalty.
How is one to explain singling out Israel for condemnation? Sadly, only one explanation fits: anti-Semitism.
So how can one explain singling out Israel for criticism? There's only one explanation: anti-Semitism. And as Prager's saying that and Shapiro's saying that, they're passing these laws in Florida that say if you don't criticize as much as you criticize other countries, so now the government is going to dictate who you can criticize how much. They determine. So if you criticize Israel 65% and you criticize, America 35%, they can now say by law, well, you're criticizing them too much, and we find that you're criticizing them more. That's in the legislation, and it's being opposed by Jews. So I'm tired of this crap that says, oh, it's anti-Semitic to disagree with Donald Trump and Ben Shapiro. Guys, 80% of Jewish people in this country vote liberal. They don't even care about Israel. So there's nothing anti-Semitic about it. I'm not saying you should support who you want and love who you want to love, but stop saying it's hate speech. Someone said context here is... No, guys, it's so crazy that people don't know this, but I understand why. Go to their Twitters. They say it all the time. They say to be pro-America is to be pro-Israel. Is there any other country in the world? To be pro-America is to be pro-Mexico. To be pro-America is to be pro-Canada. To be pro-America is to be pro-England. To be we have a lot of allies. Throughout history, we've had many allies. I mean, heck, we allied with Russia in World War II, to fight Nazi Germany. So to question your ally or if you don't like them as much as you like America, guys, I have a rude awakening. They're not America first. They're American and Israel together. And if anybody questions how that may or may not affect America, they'll deem you an anti-Semite, and they're foaming at the mouth to make it illegal for you to even question the Rothschilds or Soros or any powerful family that obviously has influence. I mean, it's so obvious. All right, I'll take a few questions that I'm going to roll out. No religious group or race has to be a monolith, and I think it's offensive to say that they are. And I think it's, I think they're using, and the whole reason I want to debate is because when you don't take any accountability, when you constantly lie and exaggerate, when you want to pass speech legislation to make yourself a protected class, Ben Shapiro, a lot of Jews don't like Ben Shapiro. A lot of conservative Jews don't like Ben Shapiro. Some do. We don't have to agree with what they say. It's ridiculous that people assume that, but also I think it raises anti-Semitism. The reason people are turning against Israel and, in some cases, other people, is because you can't, it's the one thing you can't say, you can't talk about. So a lot of people feel like they are controlling everything, because if you're not allowed to point out statistics and facts and reality and foreign aid and, question certain things, that in no way, shape, or form, in my perspective, helps the state of Israel or Jewish people. It's like, you can't point that out. You're not free of criticism. You're not free of accountability. They think they can do and say whatever they want, and no one can point it out, or else they cry victim. That's what the left wing does. As soon as you hit too close to home with Ben Shapiro, he turns into a snowflake. Oh, that's anti-Semitism. It is anti-Semitism to be that, because if you disagree with that, then you must hate all Jews. They lie all the time and play the victim and act like a snowflake. It's like, all right, I'm going to answer like 2 questions and I'm going to roll out, because I want to actually... the same Asal saying you can't criticize the real turnaround and criticize Islam. In America, you're allowed to criticize anybody. I don't like nobody's above free speech. That's why free speech is important. When you give up free speech, there becomes a protected class, and the elites use it so you can't criticize them. And that's exactly what the right wing is doing here with anti-Semitism. They're passing phony legislation that's very broad and biased, and saying you can't do cartoons, you can't do that, you can't do this. Why? Why are they so mad? Because it's true. They're mad at they're mad at a Ben Garrison cartoon or a New York Times cartoon. You can't disprove it with logic and reality. You have to say it's anti-Semitism and shut it down. It's such a lie. Someone said, if you debate Shapiro, would you use his tagline against him? I would be kind. I would be respectful. I don't need promotion. I don't want attention, honestly. I want the truth to prevail, and I would just not lie. It would not be hard. And I'm not emotional about like this situation, as far as I'm not going to make stuff up just because I'm emotional. He is. He constantly, the fact that he said, his tweet today, any dual loyalty supposition is anti-Semitism. There are not only people with dual citizenship, which is fine, but there's people who are Jewish and non-Jewish, Christian, Catholic, who tell you every day that they're loyal to Israel. And this little sneaky snake wants to say that it's anti-Semitism, it's hate speech, it's hating all Jews to suggest that certain Jews have dual loyalty. Some do, some don't. I have friends that are very proudly pro-Israel, and there's nothing wrong with that. I have Jewish friends who don't give 2 craps about Israel, and that's fine. So to suggest that to say that every single person has dual loyalty, yeah, that's a lie. There's no hate speech about it. If you said every Jew has a loyalty to Israel, that's a lie. That's not true. I know many Jews who don't care. I know and have watched Jews on YouTube who are anti-Zionist and they're anti the state of Israel. Not many, but some. It's like the right wing. The right wing wants to use them as a monolith. You're allowed to be Jewish and feel any way you want to feel. And Ben Liar Shapiro says any dual loyalty supposition is anti-Semitism. It's not true. I'm allowed to speculate on which people of every race, religion, and gender and political affiliation have loyalty to what. I could say that Ilhan Omar has dual loyalty to Palestine. I could say Rashida Tlaib has dual loyalty to Palestine. It's not anti-Palestinian or anti-Islam to say that. That's probably a fact. So they want double standards. They want speech laws, the right wing. When will the debate take place? Probably never. Because Ben Shapiro probably only wants to debate 19-year-olds about transgenderism, so he looks like he's really smart. Someone said I'm pro-Israel. I have no problem with that. My only problem comes when I'm not allowed to speak truth and it becomes a speech law, or you have Republican conservative pundits trying to tell me it's hate speech to point out the truth. You can be pro-Israel. But then if I say you're pro-Israel and you say, oh, how dare you suggest I have dual loyalty, now you're being a sneaky snake. You see the difference? I don't care if you're pro-Israel. I have quite a few followers from Israel who are obviously pro-Israel because they live there. That makes sense to me. I'm not mad at that. I want to be allowed to say it. That's the point I'm trying to get across. I don't care if you like Israel. I don't care if you're pro-Israel. I don't care if you have dual loyalty. I don't care if you don't. I don't care if you care about them a little bit. I don't care if you care about them a lot. I don't care if you care about them for religious reasons. I don't care if you care about them for racial reasons. But don't make a law saying I can't say it. Don't act like you're this big conservative, facts don't care about your feelings, and you're suggesting that me, Ben Shapiro, suggesting if I say the truth, I'm anti-Semitic. Dennis Prager is suggesting that if I have fair and honest speculation about a foreign country, that I'm anti-Semitic. This is two of the top Republicans saying it's anti-Semitic and hate speech for me to say factual proof that I could back up with evidence of themselves saying it. I don't need to say that Nancy Pelosi's not a Jew, as far as I know. She has dual loyalty, guys. You think that they don't know where a lot of power is? Most politicians do have dual loyalty. And that's fine. They admit it. And then if they admit it and I say it, now they want to stop me from saying it? That's the problem I have. Do you get it? Someone said I'm pro-America first, I'm pro-Israel secondly. I'm American, I'm born here. That's great. You know, I don't care. Some people are, some people aren't. You just can't stop me from saying it. You could say that you could speculate that I'm anything. It should never be hate speech to do so. You get what I'm saying? You could say I have dual loyalty to Poland. I don't, but you could say that. I'm not going to say that's hate speech. Oh, it's hate speech to suggest that I have dual loyalty. Everyone knows you have dual loyalty, you sneaky liar. No, nobody who watches Ben Shapiro, probably 10 people, everyone knows that he loves Israel. Everyone knows PragerU makes 15 videos on Israel. That's fine. We get it. You like Israel. You like America. You think they're a democracy. Maybe they're your second favorite. Maybe they're your first favorite. I'm allowed to speculate. Who is he to tell me that it's hate speech to say what he himself says all the time? He says he doesn't mind if civilians die for American and Israeli citizens. Clearly, that's showing some sort of dual loyalty. It's ridiculous. Do you see me saying I want to murder 80 million people in Iran and murder Afghanistani citizens for Israelis? No. But if I wrote an article like that, you should say Anomaly has dual loyalty to Israel and America because he's writing about murdering civilians for Israelis. You could say that. Well, who am I to tell you that that's anti-Semitic? They're lying, guys. I don't care. Someone sick of the right and left telling us we should be in column A and column B. Absolutely. I had a meeting yesterday because I'm having a whole event, and many of my speakers are actually Jewish, but one of them, she's half Jewish, and she asked me, at the meeting yesterday, she said, what do you think of Trump saying that it's, disloyal for American Jews to not support the Republican Party? As much as I know what he's talking about, I said I don't agree with it. I don't like when the left wing says if you're black, you have to feel this way. If you're Mexican, you have to feel this way. And I told her, I don't agree that Trump said if you're Jewish, you're disloyal if you don't feel this way. We shouldn't be put into column A and column B. And she agreed with me. Not all Jews agree with Ben Shapiro and Donald Trump. In fact, most vehemently disagree with them. Ben Shapiro's allowed to say, hey, you guys are wrong. You're allowed to say you're right. But people have to stop saying, you're racist, you're sexist, you're anti-Semitic, you're xenophobic. If you don't agree with this, if you're Jewish, you have to feel this way. If you're Muslim, you have to feel. How about making sense and convincing people via logic and truth? How about that? How about stop suggesting that because I'm a certain race, I have to feel a certain way? I don't like it on the left or the right. And trust me, it's like I don't care that Trump is very pro-Israel. Trump's getting cities named after him in Israel. I'm not going to be called an anti-Semite for pointing that out. It's never going to be illegal for me to point that out. And if it is, I'd rather die than ever lie like these people. I don't care. Someone said get a bodyguard. I'm not worried about myself, but at the end of the day, I'd rather die than lie, than stand up in front of a Turning Point organization and say, it's illegal to say I have dual loyalty, even though everyone who works for me knows I have dual loyalty. Get the F out of here. All right, we'll answer a few more questions and we'll roll out. I'm not anti-Jew, I'm not anti-Semitic, I'm not anti-Israeli. I'm pro-First Amendment, and anybody on the left and the right who wants to say it's hate speech and then pass laws into American Congress to say that it's hateful for me to say the truth is not okay. And they do that constantly. And that only shows who really who has power, who controls them. To me, it's more of a compliment. It's clear there's only a few things that left-wingers and right-wingers seem to agree on, and that seems to be Israel and war in the Middle East. That seems to be one thing that's bipartisan. The only time you'll see mainstream media compliment Donald Trump is when he throws a missile at Syria. Then they're like, Trump's finally being presidential. I can point that out. I could say whatever I want in America. As far as I know. Someone said, get the debate scheduled. I'm whenever they want to. And the point I want to make to Prager and Ben, and then I'll answer a few more questions, is I think it's actually more detrimental to Jews, and I'm not Jewish, so it's not my game to play, but as an analyst, I can analyze anything I want. I think it's more detrimental to Jewish people to constantly use anti-Semitism as a shield and pass laws. I think that raises disdain for Jewish people and Israel. On the right wing, trust me, people are texting me left and right saying, what's up with Charlie Kirk? Like, why is he tweeting about making Palestine gay? It's not as popular as they think. People are growing very, like, I had someone call me yesterday and say to me, you know, I have no problem with Israel. Like, I have no problem with Israel whatsoever. I'm not anti-Israel at all. But what's up with all these Republicans? Like, it's like their head's so far up Israel's ass, like, it's disgusting. Like, you know, you can be pro, but a lot of Republicans are saying, they're not anti-Semitic. They're not even anti-Israel. There's people who are pro-Zionist as far as, like, they believe in the state of Israel and they're pushing that. And they're sick of the nonsense too. It's like, it actually raises more disdain when you do what Prager and Ben do. And it's ridiculous to suggest that it's anti-Semitism. It's a fact. And facts don't care about your feelings. Facts don't care about your hate speech laws. And facts don't care about your fake hate speech tweets. Someone said, how do you feel about Syria threatening Israel? I didn't see them threatening them, but I'll tell you this. Syria got invaded. Syria got destroyed in many ways. Syria is now all but free. In, the only place that's not free in Syria is Idlib. In Idlib, Al-Qaeda exists. There's Al-Qaeda in Idlib. So the mainstream media in America, and probably Israel and others, keep demonizing Syria for trying to get rid of terrorists out of their country. That's one thing Tulsi Gabbard's right about. Israel has the right to defend itself. Israel has the right to do what they feel is right. I'm not Israel. I'm not Israeli. I'm not one of those people that says Israel doesn't have the right to exist. If you live in Israel and you're a citizen there or you're a politician there, it's your country. Who am I to tell Israel what they can and can't do? I've never done that. However, as an analyst, I think the media is trying to tell Syria they can't get rid of terrorists out of their country. And I would bet on it if I was a betting man that the whole reason that we invaded Syria in the first place was on behalf of Israel. Why are they threatening Israel? I don't know. But I know that Syria was destroyed. I know that it's now almost completely rebuilt. And I know that the one region in Syria that there's a terrorist organization that we claim to hate so much, Al-Qaeda, they're in Idlib. Syria is trying to get rid of Al-Qaeda, and the mainstream media is calling Syria terrorists for trying to get rid of a terrorist group. It's a total mess. And I don't know whether they are or aren't threatening Israel, but I think Israel has the right to defend itself. I think Syria has the right to defend itself. And right now, I don't think Syria's allowed. The American troops, as well as others, Turkish and others, they're not allowing Syria to get rid of Al-Qaeda and get their own country back. But that's the thing with Israel. Here's my thought. You have, like, I listen to a lot of people, and sometimes Prager says we have the right to defend ourselves, right, in Israel. But then at other times Prager says, do you not think Israel has the right to defend itself and expand? So sometimes they say we're allowed to defend, right? And then other times they say we're allowed to defend and expand. You're allowed to do whatever you want, but if you're Israel and you're trying to take land from Syria or take more land from Palestine, there's going to be repercussions. If America invaded Mexico or invaded Canada, there's going to be repercussions. That's how the world works, So I think Israel has the right to do whatever the heck they want. I'm not their military. But to suggest that it's anti-Semitic to point it out, it's like, if you're going to expand, people are going to get mad. And if people get mad at Israel, now people are mad at America because we're conjoined at the hip. So they're trying to make it anti-Semitic to say we have dual loyalty when our politicians say we have dual loyalty. And the whole Middle Eastern war, to me, it seems like an Israeli expansion project. I mean, it's nothing against Israel or anybody, but if I was to guess why we're in the Middle East, I would say it probably has more to do with oil. Probably has a lot to do with the Israeli, expansion project. I don't think they're just trying to defend. I think they're trying to grow and take out anybody around them that they feel is a threat. And unfortunately, the whole Arab world is probably a threat because they all don't want Israel to be there. You get what I'm saying? It's a mess. And most Muslims will never want Israel to be there. So it's a whole religious, spiritual, political war. That's my guess. I don't know. So is Syria threatening Israel? Probably. And Israel has the right to do what they want. Is America and Israel and Saudi Arabia and Turkey protecting terrorist groups in Syria? Probably. And, anybody who thinks they're fighting terrorism should look into that, I think. Someone said Syria is run by Iran. There's a whole proxy war going on. You have Syria, Iran, and Russia. And then you have America, Israel, Saudi Arabia, Turkey, and terrorist organizations. Honestly, they're America and Israel and Saudi Arabia. They act like they're fighting terrorist organizations, but in the past, in my perspective, they've been funding and aiding rebel groups who are most of the time terrorizing people's regions. So it's a whole, you could take a side or defend, but I'm not, as an analyst, that's what's going on. It's for sure Russia, Iran, and Syria, but I would say it's Syria's country. So at the end of the day, they have the high ground there. What's up? Yeah, it's a mess. But here's the thing as well. As an American citizen, like people always ask me, don't you want to make Palestine gay? Don't you want to make Saudi Arabia gay? And I'm like, don't you want to do this in South Africa? To be honest, as much as everyone else says they're America first, I actually like that slogan because I was like, let's focus on our own. We have a lot of problems ourselves. Let's focus on ourselves. So do you get the whole plot? Nancy Pelosi and Donald Trump say we're connected at the hip with Israel. Israel absolutely has a lot of problems. They say they're our greatest allies, so we're defending them. Our capital is crumbling because we're, out in the Middle East expanding our empire. And I'm not trying to get Israel hurt. I'm not saying we don't have to help them in some form. That's all debatable. But as an American citizen, you should be allowed to disagree with that. And they're trying to make it illegal for you to question it, to tell the truth about it, to disagree with that, calling it hate speech. It's like they're not truly America first. They're America and in Israel together. And, you could look at Rome. What tanked Rome? A lot of the same things that you see here. Expanding their military too much, debauchery, a lot of things. Like, it's very synonymous. So you can be pro-Israel, you can fight for Israel, but as an American citizen, here's my thing is you don't have to support Israel. As far as I know, that's not a thing that you have to do. And they're trying to say it's mandatory. And Prager has videos. The whole video he was saying is, here's why you have to support Israel. Here's why you should. Here's why you should. He really likes them, which is awesome. But then he wants to say it's hate speech for not feeling that way. You get it? All right, we'll answer a few more questions that I'm really going to roll out. Someone said, who are they stealing the land from? They're just trying to protect the land. Listen, I'm not an expert on Israel and Palestine. I don't claim to be, but they've talked about multiple times expanding. So are they defending their land or are they expanding? If they're expanding, they're taking land back. That's for you to decide. I can't tell you what land is theirs, what land is not theirs historically now. You can figure it out. But if you want to know what I think, I don't think that Israel's just trying to protect the land that they have. I think they're trying to expand their land. That's what I think. And there's a lot of evidence for that. So Syria and Iran are mad, and Israel is not only defending that land, but they're also slowly taking more land. I get why they're like, yeah, we're going to defend our land, but at a certain point, I as an American citizen, I can speculate, I could agree, I could disagree. I'm not going to be told by Ben Shapiro that it's hate speech to not agree with him or to tell the truth. See you, Gabriel. Have a good day. All right, 1 or 2 more comments. Someone said, anything you want me to speak against Justin Amash, I'm going to see him speak now. I don't have any good questions, but good luck. If you get a good question, try to get a good one. Send it to me. Someone said, Israel took the Golan Heights from Syria. Yes, they're expanding and taking taking Palestinians home. There you go. That's what someone said, but that's what I thought too. Yeah, they're, and if you listen to, that's what I'm saying. People say, how do you know that? If you listen to Israel supporters, sometimes they say we're defending our land. Other times they admit, they're like, Anomaly, how do you know that? They told me that. They said, we want to expand. What, we don't have the right to expand? I don't know what the heck's going on in Israel. I'm not there, but I can talk. Someone said you are against Israel. It's obvious this last couple minutes, and that's okay. Here's the thing. I'm not against Israel at all. However, I'm for America. And if being for America means losing my free speech, means, Israeli organizations can rig Google, Facebook, and Twitter and nobody's going to talk about it, if that means nonstop wars that, destroy my country and also don't help them in the end, then I'm going to oppose that. Yeah, I'm not anti-Israel, but they're giving me 2 options right now. You get what and this is why this debate really needs to be had, because there's a way to be pro-Israel and pro-America, but disagree on certain things. That's totally fine. A lot of American Jews do, and there's nothing anti-Semitic about it. But here's what's so dangerous about what Prager and Ben Shapiro and even Trump and Ted Cruz and DeSantis are saying. They're saying you have 2 options. Either you agree with everything we're doing, or you're anti-Israel and anti-Semitic. So a lot of people are choosing the other side because I don't need to be anti-Israel, but if you're telling me I'm not allowed to question dual loyalty, I'm not allowed to question all the aid we're giving, I'm not allowed to question the endless wars, I'm not allowed to question the ADL, which is bragging about rigging algorithms and rigging my right to free information in my country on behalf of Israel. That's not my opinion. That's what they said they're doing. Look up the ADL's founder and the Wikipedia page, and you can figure out who the ADL is. If I'm not allowed to say that, and you say, if you say that, then you're anti-Israel, you're throwing me on that side, and I'm still not going to accept the title. It's like when the left wing says I'm far right. Oh, you disagree with us? You're far right. The right wing's playing that same game because Charlie, Prager, Shapiro, Trump, they have this huge Zionist agenda. So I'm not anti-Israel, and I'm never going to take that title. But I don't agree with everything they're doing. I don't agree with everything conservatives are doing. And I'm going to continuously say it. I'm not going to choose a side. That's the game they always play. Oh, Anomaly, if you say that, you're left wing. Oh, Anomaly, get out of here. You're not a real Republican. I never said I was a Republican. I've never even registered as a Republican. So I say I'm libertarian leaning, and I'm conservative in my values now. As far as, to me, the right wing's making much more sense. And I think it's obvious to most people who don't lie to themselves. So, I believe in smaller government now that I know more. So, yeah, I lean right for sure, but that's the game these people. Oh, Anomaly, you're anti-Israel. It's obvious. Oh yeah, Anomaly, you're not a real Republican. Oh, Anomaly, no. That's the 2-party trap. That's what it is. I'm the least hateful person. The people that try to say I'm anti-Israel are the same people that want to blow up Iran. The same people that say I'm anti-Semitic are way more hateful towards Muslims than I am towards Jews. I have no problem with Israel. I'm never going to accept the title of anti-Israel. I'm never going to accept the title of anti-Semitic because both of them are blatant lies. And if you really listen to me, you can't call me that. You can do whatever you want, but that's what they always do. They're like, oh, so if you disagree with us, you must hate the whole state of Israel. No, I just think there needs to be questions. If America starts expanding, people are going to hate us more. So if you want to do that, and you're confused by the backlash, it's like I can't have a perspective. I have to agree with Charlie Kirk or else I'm anti-Israel. I don't agree. Here, I'm going to read that comment because I do want some back and forth. All right, Nikhil, thank you. Said, I do agree with some of what you're saying, but I don't agree with the way you're focused on criticizing Israel. You're saying you're not anti-Israel, but you're rambling on for them about an hour. Well, this is what this is about. Thank you, Sharni, for joining. God bless you. I know I got some legends in Israel as well. So the reason I'm talking about Israel today is because the whole debate I want to have with Shapiro is about Israel. But also you have to understand, when it comes to free speech in my country, the right wing is kind of selling it out on behalf of Israel. That's not my fault for pointing that out. And they want to make it illegal for me to say that. When it comes to tech censorship, one of the biggest perpetrators of tech censorship is a company that declares that the reason that it's censoring Google, the reason that it's rigging Facebook and YouTube, they're bragging that they have artificial intelligence that they're using to rig social media companies in Silicon Valley, and they're doing it on behalf of Israel and Jewish people in America. I'm allowed to point that out. It's not my sole focus. I have thousands of videos. And maybe I call out Israel in the last couple ones. I mean, my ratio of talking about Israel, I've talked about China and Qatar and Al Jazeera 5 times as much as I've ever talked about Israeli influence, but the truth might be that Israeli influence is bigger. And if I say that, there's nothing anti-Semitic about it. You can't tell me who I can and can't criticize, how much I criticize them, or who's responsible for what. It's all debatable, but I wouldn't even say I'm criticizing Israel. That's not it. I don't like the word criticize. I'm not a critiquer or a condemner. I'm just speaking facts. I'm telling you who's censoring my speech, who's selling out my rights. I have 10,000 videos about the left wing. I make 2 videos about the right wing, and people think I hate the right wing. It's like, guys, my left to right ratio is enormous. I've criticized the left wing 100 times as much as I've criticized the right wing. I've criticized other foreign countries 1,000 times as much as I've criticized Israel. But I do it once or twice, and people don't want to hear it. All right, we'll answer a few more questions. Just be nice to each other, guys. There's a way to have this conversation and not be so mean. And this is a convo they need to have, because trust me, I have a lot of conservative people who are Jewish that don't like Ben Shapiro or Prager either, and they think that they're actually hurting. Like, it's all debatable, but that's why I want to have the debate, because I can prove factually that they're exaggerating about the word anti-Semitism. I can prove factually who's censoring America and why. I could prove factually that there's nothing hateful about pointing something out about a country and having a conversation about it, and they're trying to tell you that it is hateful to say that. So, the facts are on my side. I'm not even remotely nervous about the debate. It's like I'm leading in facts and reality, and I have statistics to prove it, and they're leading in snowflakeisms. They're leading in, well, it's dangerous to say that because it's true, and if you tell the truth too much, people will get mad at me. So they're not gonna. It's not gonna be a win or lose debate. The people are gonna win because they'll finally hear the truth. Someone said PragerU has done a good job putting helpful info out to the masses. He's done a lot of great work. I'm not knocking that, but for him to suggest, like I said, when the only time, not the only time, but him and Ben do a lot of good work, but when it comes to certain things, they turn into snowflakes and they start lying. That's not my fault. I'm not saying he doesn't do a lot of great work, but I just played you a clip of him blatantly lying, or someone for him. Thank you, Aaron. All right, one more and we'll roll out. I don't want to make this too long. All right, have a good day, Cass. One more question, because I want to take what you guys are saying and try to have a discussion rather than one more. Let's see, and then we'll roll out. Thanks for joining, guys. And once again, you can say what you want, but this has nothing to do. I don't need attention. I don't need promotion. I have no desire to be a top person. I'm already doing fantastically well. I want the First Amendment to be preserved. I find that the First Amendment and the Second Amendment, in my opinion, are so important right now. So whether it's the left or the right who wants to push this false idea of hate speech, I want the most honest Jew to talk to the most honest Muslim, to talk to the most honest Christian. But the problem is, a lot of people don't want to say how they really feel because it's ugly. I don't want, like, anti-Semitism, stop saying that word. Just have a conversation, Ben. It's like he wants to stop every, oh, no, don't say that, no, how about just say it? Say it all, and then we'll figure it out, and everyone will be happier. It's like, don't play into the political correctness, don't play into the hate speech, don't play into the false exaggerations of condemning speech. That's all lefty tactics that are left-wing now, not always, to shut down the truth, to shut down free speech, to shut down discussion, to shut down your political opposition. When the left wing uses black and Hispanic, they don't do it for blacks and Hispanics. They do it to shut down their opposition and make their opposition look racist. When Ben Shapiro and a lot of these right-wingers use anti-Semitism and pass bills, they don't do it to actually help people. They do it to stop people from criticizing their agenda. And they have an agenda, and they tell you their agenda, but they want to make it illegal or a hate speech violation to say that they have. The truth will never be hate speech. All right, one more. And I don't want to keep talking about this stuff. Like someone said, I'm talking about it a lot this last week, but it seems to be a key issue. It's what Trump's talking about. It's what they're all talking about. And the more they lie, the more I realize that's, everyone's realizing too. I don't know what you guys want to, like, some people don't get it, but there's people who love Israel who are getting tired of, like, Prager and Charlie Kirk and Ben Shapiro just constantly, like, how is it conservative to tell Palestine to be gay? Like, what America First agenda is that? How is that remotely conservative? It's like everyone's noticing. They're like, dude, this is getting a little weird. They're like, there's people hit me up. I support Israel, but, like, dude, this is getting really weird. Like, they're gonna sell out our free speech because they support that country. Like, he's like, I support Israel, but, like, of course I'm not gonna sell my free speech out. But some people will, and everyone's starting to notice. Someone said, we know the squad is hateful of Jews, obviously. I don't disagree. Yeah, I don't think this... I mean, well, actually, you could look up Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez actually might be part Jewish. Search AOC Jewish. She said she comes from, like, Sephardic Jews or something. I don't know if it's true. But, yeah, I don't think Rashida Tlaib or Ilhan Omar, they absolutely don't like Israel or Jews. Or Americans. Or white people. That's fine. However, I don't disagree with you. But you have to pinpoint when and where, because if you say it's anti-Semitic to say it's all about the Benjamins, now you're the liar and you're making her look good. There's a lot of people that say, I don't like Ilhan Omar, but she's not wrong about that. If you call it anti-Semitic to say that money rules the world and we have loyalty to Israel, now you're giving her the moral high ground, even though she doesn't. She does probably hate Jews. She does probably hate white people. She does probably hate Israel. And she does probably hate America. So you shouldn't have to lie to point that out. If you dislike Donald Trump, can you pinpoint when he's being wrong? Or are you a liar? Are you just going to use emotion and say, I hate Donald Trump so much I'm going to lie about him every day? That's what the media does. That's what right-wingers are doing with Ilhan Omar. I don't like her. I don't think she likes Israel. I don't think she likes Jews. I don't think she likes white people. However, right-wingers constantly lie about her and make her look better. They're making her into a superstar. So if you don't like her, you can't lie about her. And that's what they're doing. There's nothing wrong with saying it's all about the Benjamins. There's nothing wrong with suggesting dual loyalty. There's nothing wrong with saying that AIPAC controls the Congress. It's not even debatable. I mean, Nancy Pelosi and Mitch McConnell will get up there and tell you we have dual loyalty. We are one, connected for good. And then Ilhan Omar says it, and then you say that she can't say that. Pinpoint exactly when she's lying. You get what I'm saying? There's a million things she said. She said that concentration camps are camps where people concentrate. Talk about that. That's a very stupid statement. She said that they are concentration camps because kids are concentrating there. That makes no sense. She's very dumb. She can't even speak properly. So it's like, point out the wrong thing she does. Don't point out the right thing she says and then act like that's what makes the right wing look stupid. It's like, we're going to make it our mission to shut down her speech when she's being more honesty. Trust me, a lot of right-wingers are saying, I don't like her, but she's not wrong. So you're making her look better. I'm going to end on that. So overall, you don't have to like her. You could think she hates your country and your people. I'm not saying you're wrong. You're probably right. However, if you want to win, you got to lead in truth and pinpoint when you're right. If you want to be a liar and you want to lose, keep doing what Ben Shapiro's doing. Keep doing what Prager's doing. Keep constantly trying to shut her up for saying the truth. You're gonna lose a lot of support. So I think that's the point that people are missing. That's what Trump people do. I'm gonna leave on this note. I had a meeting with someone yesterday. Like I said, they were more left leaning or very left leaning. Didn't like the president. But I told her. She said, "What do you disagree with Trump with?" And I said, the funny thing is, I do disagree on a few things with Trump, but it's never what the media says. They claim like they hate him so much, but then they make him look better because they just lie all the time and they can't pinpoint anything because they're so hysterically delusional. So I was like, I actually do disagree with Trump on a few things, but you'll never hear about it on the television because they don't talk about anything. It's the same with the right wing. It's like there's a lot of things I disagree with Ilhan Omar about, but we'll never hear about them because they're constantly lying and pointing out the things she's telling the truth about. It's like the truth is not a lie. Whether Trump says it, whether Ilhan Omar says it, whether I say it, whether Prager says it, the truth is the truth, a lie is a lie. So if you want to make your whole campaign about shutting down someone for saying the truth, doesn't matter how, vile of a person they are, you're going to end up losing. I mean, unless you're pushing an agenda over the truth. A lot of people came to the Trump side for the truth, not to say that they're connected at the hip with Israel. So it's becoming very, very unpopular to do this, and it doesn't have to be. You could support Israel and at the same time not say everything's anti-Semitic. So that's the whole point I'm getting to. God bless you guys. God bless America. Someone said you're high as a kite. I'm not high at all. I'm literally not on any drugs. I'm drinking coffee. God bless you. God bless America. God bless your family. God bless the world. You can watch it in entirety, Erica. It's going to replay right when I hit end. And if you would like to, please come to my live event. There's links on the other thing. I'm not even going to post it here. But people need to know about this. This is First Amendment stuff. This is a very important debate that I want to have. And I think that having this debate will actually lessen anti-Semitism because a lot of people are growing more hateful and disdainful because you're not allowed to have a discussion. And when you censor speech, when you silence people, when you exaggerate claims, you don't gain support. What you do is you push people to a side. And I think I had an example of that there. They said, Anomaly must be anti. It's not, everything's not black and white. Everything's not left and right. You can have a perspective and still lean right wing. You don't have to throw me into the gutter because I disagree on one issue. And you don't have to suggest I hate an entire country or group of people just because I want to have a conversation about wars or media or, censorship or foreign aid. I mean, when was that wrong to have a conversation about that? Thank you guys. And guys, stop being disrespectful. You can have a debate here. I'm reading some comments. You can have a debate with people without being mean or hateful. It's like, that's what this is about. So anybody that's talking trash to each other, it's like, just have a conversation about it. Don't be mean. All right. Have a good one.